We are the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Welcome back, as we're hanging out with Dark Helmet, the sci-fi and Transformers pig. Hanging out, and we're getting ready to look at something that is Transformers related. So from Transformers Legacy, had this one for a while. We got G2 Universe, and we've got Jhiaxus. Now, if you were not familiar with Jhiaxus, he did appear in the old Marvel comics. And of course, he became a prominent character during the run of the Dark Cybertron in the IDW version of the Transformers. Fairly interesting character. I'm not 100% sure about the colorations on this one, but it does kind of match the Marvel and the G1 aesthetics they kind of had set in place for it. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Right out of the box, here we go with Jhiaxus. Technically, if you wanted to, you could fold the wings out like that to give them, I guess, a little bit more of a sinister look. But I will tell you, just getting this right out of the box like this arm right here, it's a little bit loose, just a little bit. I mean, it's not super sloppy, but it's definitely not a tight joint. I mean, none of these joints feel very tight except for this shoulder. This shoulder is really nice and tight. This one, it's not too bad. Let's see, the waist is good. The head, oh my goodness, the head is like super sloppy on this joint. This is absolutely horrendously loose. Just terrible. The hip joint right here flaring out. He does do the full Van Dams, but these hip joints really loose too. Like they're pretty loose. They're not very tight at all. And the turn here, the turn that they have right there at the hip, that's really loose. Knee joint is really loose as well. The rockers, wow, even the rockers are incredibly loose on this. This is really just poor designing. Oh my god damn. This knee joint is slightly tighter than the other one, but yeah, the hip and everything up here, that's still really loose. Just wow. Just wow, Hasbro. Like, seriously. While he can get down into a kneeling position, you can see he's like leaning way back. That's because that knee joint will not hold the weight. It just flops all the way back. Quality control, once again, with these figures from Hasbro. Shit. A hell of a time, even with the stand, trying to get this thing to balance into a running position. Just really horrible. And as far as I know, this was the first use of this mold. And I think they might have reused this one to do the Metal Hawk figure, but I'm not 100% sure. But holy crap, is this thing just a flying, stinking turd? This is absolutely horrible. This thing will not hold a pose because the joints are so loose. The thing they did do is they gave extra ports, so technically you can port his guns up onto his shoulders or onto the forearms or anywhere else that there's, because there's quite a few ports on this guy. I have one other thing I will mention. Besides his hands do turn, that there is movement right here. You can turn the hands. There is a serious lack of articulation up in the shoulders. They're so big and blocky, and there's just not enough movement in there that the shoulders almost get in the way of themselves as you're trying to pose this guy. Here we go with Jhiaxus in his jet form. What a lump of shit this thing is. This thing doesn't sit properly. These arms don't port in anywhere. Nowhere. So they're just loose the entire time. Like, what a hunk of junk. Like, this is just garbage, and this is the way it's supposed to sit, like this? This is terrible. Port the one gun there, but it's facing backwards to the tail fin, so that makes no damn sense. You port his guns haphazardly on the back like this. There is no legitimate place to port these where it makes any sense. That, once again, just a huge miss on the way of Hasbro. This thing is an absolute shit. Man, I'm sorry I picked this damn thing up. This is a piece of junk. I mean, I bought it a long time ago. And I had planned on reviewing, and I thought, yeah, well, the color's a little weird, but I mean, maybe it'd be all right. It is a different type of jet mold and everything. Nope, absolute piece of junk. If you guys wind up running into this in the wild and you see it on discount, I wouldn't even bother. This thing is a piece of shit. I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10. Garbage, Hasbro. Got a quick addendum here and for this Jhiaxus figure. So there was another port right there under the nose cone for the weapon. And yeah, the back wings did port down, and you were supposed to take these lower wings and pop them down so it actually stabilizes him in jet form. So I guess I will revise his score to a 6. It's still a pretty shitty looking jet form, but I will give it a 6 because at least it kind of stands up in jet form. So that's my bad. I will own up to that one. Anyway, guys, that is all we have on this one. What did you think about our assessment? With all these Transformers figures, we always get a few that hit pretty good and then some that have some misses, and that apparently is never going to change with Hasbro. It's just the way it is. I just wish that they would be a little bit more consistent. Be sure to let Dark Helmet know what you thought about this one. Later, y'all.
The Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers.